And if someone would like to roll on the table as well for a question tonight, you can do so with pleasure. Also, Jerry, have we got you on voice tonight, or are you just in the chat?
I'm here, but no tabletop. I'm not home.
Okay, cool. So that's cool. I will be moving your tokens. Are you able to watch the stream or something? That's cool. I will.
Yeah, but I don't think it's up yet.
It is just up.
Oh.
I'm gonna post it right now.
Okay.
Cool.
But
So,
well, that's an easy question because for Australia, well, she's pretty generous with those she, well, finds interesting. Oh, interesting is the wrong question. It's more like, well, for those she doesn't dislike, she's generous. Once they get back to Toto, she may finally pay off that debt she has to the Saki window, or, well, the promised thing she did long ago.
in Toto? What is that?
Oh, you don't remember? She said that those that survived the zombie apocalypse or the spice traders, she would basically pay them a drink at the Saki place.
Oh yeah, the people that you rescued from the tavern. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, the question there. I'm not sure if you can see it yet, Jerry, but is how generous is your character, especially to those they don't know? So, give you a second to think about that one. But Sakura, what about you? I feel like we've seen plenty of generosity from her.
Yeah, she wants people to be happy. I mean, she does send like all the koku that she earns to her grandfather.
And then Spanish
So
generous people.
I'd say she's very generous to people. Australia's just like, no.
Yeah, I think there's a certain level of trusting that it's like you're either in the good books with Sakura or you're not at all. It's feels like it's very much. I mean, am I right in that?
Yeah, I mean, to people that she deems, I mean, there's not a huge amount of people that she doesn't like, but like for those specific people, it would be like, no, but those are people that she knows. Like, if she finds a community in need, she would be generous to them, regardless of like whether she knows them or not. It's just like specific people that she wouldn't be generous to.
Yeah. And how about Jerry? Speaking of communities in need.
Quick question, Dev. Would Sakura know who the new god of time is somehow?
No, not yet. You could possibly find out, but your magic is more science than like religious magic. So I don't think you would. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you how much divine sort of worship and that Sakura is into. But also bear in mind that those there are so many kami that there is probably not only one god of time. You've probably read about a lot of them. But obviously, not the latest. So, Jerry, how generous is your character? Eva?
Yeah, I don't. The people that I don't know, like if I own something or I destroyed something of theirs, I'll pay them back. Probably even more than I need to. But if it's just a random beggar, I don't know if he'll. Only if it's something to spare and he doesn't need it for a specific cause, he'll give it. As for friends, I think they already know that I'm generous. So I wasted, I think, 100 of my cocoa already.
Yeah.
So it depends on the situation.
Yeah, I think that's been pretty evident so far. Who'd like to give us a recap on what happened last time?
Let's see. Last time, some of the party cleaned up the orcs while others were speaking with the princess about including them in the order, and then others decided, you know what, those tabaxis wasn't really nice people, so let's just turn them to mush before the other orcs came, which most likely also destroyed the evidence of the dead orcs. So when we came, and then most of them followed them nicely up, and some was like, you know what, I can't be bound because, yeah, if you bind me, then either the thing that binds me or me is just gonna vanish, and it's gonna be that. Then we went up, and sadly the orc that was deceived was getting killed, but then again, all of the other orcs was killed by beasts, and a poor, I guess, father or maybe mother was killed, even though we could have done something with, like, to save them, but well, it's too late now. But at least now we have a boat, and I think we decided to get to Toto. Yes, to repair Jerry's armor. Yes, that was it. Pretty sure that.
Yeah, I think that brings us up to speed. As after you're still pretty badly injured, I think after the demonic blade that cut into you, and Jerry, you do need to do some repairs to your armor, but you guys are currently flying through the clouds on this orcish slaver ship. What would everyone like to do?
Kura would like to find a nice place to go to sleep because she's still exhausted.
Flying it.
Okay. So, and what is the strategy?
Well, she will be sitting down, and then at the wound she got, she would be using 1 point of healing light, hoping to potentially fix it, or at least, yeah, doing something about it.
Okay. Yeah, and you guys can take a short rest. It is this ship is pretty quick as well. So you wouldn't have time for a full long rest, but within a few hours you would be back above Toto if that's where you're headed. It is about 10 to 10 at night. You can see as you are approaching Toto, the clouds are still pretty thick. It's still raining, but the rain is starting to subside slightly. And in the distance, away from the city, just outside the city, you can see a couple of fireworks going off in the sky, just in the clouds. It seems like there's some sort of a celebration happening there.
If he would have said Blue Dragon again, I don't know what would have done.
No, it's not Under Siege. You guys all probably take a moment. You can give me a perception check if you like to make sure that this isn't a big blue dragon above Toto again.
It's now a pink dragon.
You, Sakura, as you're flying over one of the fireworks explodes relatively close to you, and as it explodes, you hear this voice coming from it in that sound of that explosion that goes. Actually, give me another perception, because you can see this. It is definitely not, at this point, you can tell that it's definitely not coming from the city itself.
Nice.
Yeah, with that, you guys hear this. You hear it kind of flying past and saying, "What if time is relative?" It just kind of echoes past you as if there's just someone pondering within the sound of the firework.
Nice. Do we see any, elephants and griffins by any chance?
No, not at this point. You are. It is pretty thick cloud cover. Every now and then you see these little bursts of light, but you don't see anything else flying around. It seems like you guys are the only things up in the air.
Nice. Does it seem like we would be visible to the people down below?
No, probably not. You can't really see the ground from where you are, other than every now and then as the clouds pass, you'll get a glimpse. But you are probably quite well hidden up there in the clouds.
Cool.
So what are we doing? As Z sort of is looking over the side and also trying to make sure that those aren't the same fireworks that you guys have seen before.
Where does the princess want to be dropped? Because I'm flying towards the bathhouse to fix my armor.
She'll say, "Well, I mean, you can take me back to the bathhouse. I don't think I really want to make an aerial entrance into Toto. That will be easier to explain to Daichi as well." And she'll start to remove her mask and just start to pack it away as you see her starting to get changed behind some of the boxes, and Z kind of stands with her back to her to just give her some privacy.
Then I just fly to the bathhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys, Jerry, you can give me a, let's see, what kind of a check do you think you would make to actually land this thing? How are you bringing it into land, or where are you trying to land it?
Especially just bringing it as close as I can to the ground. But you know
Yeah,
what?
I
I
mean,
think I'll just drop you guys off there and then land next to the forge. It's less suspicious there.
The forge? Ooh,
And then pick you up
you're smart
in the
because
morning.
You know what? If I'm gonna follow him to the forge, then I can go to the monk and get the ring. That's
That's
smart.
good thinking. Sakura is going to get dropped off at the bathhouse, take a long, relaxing bath, possibly fall asleep in the bath, and then go to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably do that.
No, she's taking the egg with her. It's like with her, like all the time. Forget about the egg. No, never. The egg is coming to bath with her.
Yeah, well, Z did get her void ring, right? Or did
Yeah.
No, she didn't get her void ring. She was one of those that you was like, oh, I forgot to bring C to the void ring.
yeah? Oh yeah, because it was Kit's funeral. I keep forgetting about when we actually held that. Right. So yeah, Z will say to Australia, that's actually a great idea. We can probably swing past it on the way, and I'm sure June would like to get hers as well. If you can take some time to go and rest at the bathhouse and give Lady Sumehime her cover to get back to the castle while Jerry goes and repairs his armor. I think that'll work well. So, you can drop those two off, and then we'll head back up to the castle. Yeah, Jerry.
Okay.
All right. So you manage to head over to the bathhouse and lower it down. I'm going to need. Well, Sakura, how are you going to get down? There is still the rope bridge that they let you up on, but Jerry, I'm also going to need a stealth check from you to see how much of a noise you make bringing this ship down.
Just flicks her bokken and flies down.
Okay, and then does Sumehime have a way to fly? Let me double check. I thought she did, but she will just as you as you bring this thing in, there is you kick up all the leaves and you just see all of the hot springs, just the water getting blown out of it. There's a couple of people in those hot springs while you were uh, making your descent that they just get out and start running as everyone sort of starts to scatter. But you see two faces sort of pop out from the bathhouse of the two Gith that are still there, and they look very excited at this thing coming in. As Sakura, you float down to the ground, and Lady Sumehime is going to climb down the ladder on the other side, as she's going to try and not make too much of her presence known. Let's see. Oh, this isn't good. I'm realizing. Okay. Yeah, she manages to slip past unnoticed and into the bathhouse. So Sakura, what are you going to do once you get back down there? I assume everyone else is still on the ship as Jerry starts taking it up to the forge.
She's gonna put most of her stuff except like the three things she's keeping with her. Setter's weapons, the staff he made her, and the egg. They go with her everywhere. She doesn't let them out of her sight. So she leaves the rest of her stuff inside, and just gonna go and take a nice long bath. The egg is gonna and the weapons are gonna be like right next to the bath, but she doesn't want them to get rusted and stuff. So they're not in the bath. She'll probably end up falling asleep in the bath for a little while. But then she'd probably wake up, be like, "Oh shit, I fell asleep in the bath," and go and sleep in her room.
Yeah, and falling asleep in those baths will actually heal up all of your exhaustion as you go and take a long rest there. But you are going to be out for the next 8 hours.
Nice.
So what I'm going to do for this is, if there is stuff to do on the map, I'm going to give you control over Z for the rest of the session.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can play it how you like. But I think we might go and do the Void Ring, so for this you can play as Z.
Thank you.
Okay, so uh, so Jerry, after you've dropped them off, what are you doing?
Them in the vessels and flying to the forge.
Yeah, you fly up to the forge, and then where are you trying to land it? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to hide this ship? Are you trying to just land it right there on the side of the mountain? Let's describe for me what you're heading off to do next.
I'm trying to land it as close as I can to the entrance, but not blocking it. I'll probably
Alright.
knock down some trees.
Yeah, you do clear a little patch of the forest as you come crushing this thing down. You can give me a let's say, what is better, your intelligence or your wisdom?
Wisdom is higher.
Then you can give me a wisdom based. Oh, I don't know if you can do this through Avray. Have you got D&D Beyond there?
I did link my character to the bot, but let's see. I don't think I can make a check with like
I was
based
going to
on
say an
other
intelligence based sleight of hand check.
sleight of hand.
Is,
Does I don't have any modifier. I rather roll intelligence than sleight of hand.
yeah, but that's the thing, is with your intelligence, so then it'll just be a straight intelligence check if you don't have any proficiency.
Yeah. It's just a +1. Let's see if I know the command for it. A 3.
Yeah,
It's
so
not going
you
to end
bring
well.
this ship down hard. All of the ships that you have flown so far have had crash landings, and maybe that's what you're getting used to. As you do bring the ship down in the forest, just sort of on the side of the mountain outside the forge, but you lodge it there in the trees. It is well wedged. One of the wings breaks off as it comes crashing down into the trees and finds itself firmly planted in the ground. But you are still safe, and it's a bit of a bumpy landing, but yeah, the ship is going to take some damage, but other than that, you have landed outside the fort.
They make sure it can still fly.
Yeah, you check, and the engine does still seem to switch on, but I'm not actually sure. Can you guys see the stat block of the ship in your actors panel?
I can see.
Okay, slave ship.
Yeah.
I can see the slave ship, but not the stat block.
Yeah, not the stat block.
Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. It'll just show up there that it has taken some damage, but it has got a stat block, and it is currently I'll be keeping track of that, but it does still fly. It's just taken some damage, so it could probably use some repairs as well.
Okay. Before I'm heading to the forge itself, can I see what powers the ship? Can I try to figure out?
Yeah, you can give me an investigation check to start looking over this ship, and I'll give you advantage because of your experience with now with Titans, I think. Oh, good thing too. All right. Yeah, you can't quite tell how this thing works. You can see that there is some sort of a crystal in the back that you recognize from. You saw a similar thing on the Githyanki airship, but you're not entirely sure how the thrust system works, because it seems to be igniting that with two giant billows, and you're not entirely sure how blasting that crystal with fire is making it go forward, but it seems to be working.
Okay. Then I'll just head to the forge and fix my armor. I don't think I'm not. I don't really see the time of the day. But do I even have time to work on my new armor?
Well, it's about 11 o'clock at night now, so
Yeah, so just repairing. It's fairly late.
well, it's up to you. I mean, if you want to spend a while repairing while June and Australia and Z go and get their void rings, you can do that. Because you've got your void ring, don't you?
Not, not like work on the armor I want. I just want to repair it.
Sorry, you broke up there, say again?
I just want to repair it from the fight we had. Not try to upgrade it yet. I don't have time for it this moment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You can give me a check with your smith's tools once you get back. Let me put you guys on that map. But yeah, as you get back to the forge, and because of that forge, you'll have advantage on it as well to just make your repairs. And then, Estrella, what are you busy doing as you get back?
Well, bad memories from that fort, so busy getting away from it and towards the ring. Pretty much.
Okay, it is like 11 o'clock at night. Are you heading straight to the ring now?
Well, if nothing else, I can just sit and wait if he isn't awake. Else, well,
I think Z would probably be sort of responsible. So I think it's better if we take a bit of a rest before we go and do our rings. I mean, we've failed it before. We should probably be well rested. I mean, I kind of assumed that's what she'd do.
I'm just putting your tokens down. I think I got you all down there. Okay, yeah, Jerry, with the 28, you definitely managed to make those repairs. It is, you get the 1 back. It was a -1, yeah. So, am I right? That brings you back up to 17.
The -2. It was a -2. He hit me twice. I was on 18.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So the damage is pretty severe. You'll need to give me one more check again with advantage.
Okay.
If you guys are taking a long rest here, you will have time to do this, but you will not be resting while. I mean, Sakura is already asleep at this point, but yeah. Okay, with the 31, holy crap. Yeah, you definitely managed to completely repair the armor, and it is back in its pristine condition. So you up to 18.
Yeah, I am.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that fire elemental in there seems very happy to see you, and is starting to look a little bit stronger than before, as it has been feeding on the heart of the volcano for a while. So, Estrella, what are you doing there after Z suggests that you get some sleep?
Well, since she suggests sleep, well, Stray doesn't need sleep, so she's just gonna put up, basically, like, get one of her books from the chest and start reading it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. And then is Z going to go to bed?
I think so. I'm gonna try my best to play Z. I feel like she's probably the responsible one, so she'd probably, in my mind, get some good sleep.
Yeah. Okay. As you guys can then take a long rest, except for Jerry, who, and you can add 8 hours to whichever book you're reading, Estrella. Jerry, it'll probably take you most of the evening to make these repairs, but are you going to try and go and get a rest after that as well?
If I can fit in a long rest, then yeah. But if not, so I don't really have a need for short rest.
Yeah, you can. I'll say that you can take a long rest, but you'll take a level of exhaustion, or you can just try and tough it out to the other day.
If I'm taking a long rest, I'll take exhaustion.
Yeah, because you'll only be sleeping for about 4 hours.
And if I don't take anything, I'm not suffering a level of exhaustion.
And no, not if you keep going. You'll be able to. It depends on when you take a long rest later. If you try and keep going and going and going, then you will eventually. But at this point, it would be detrimental to actually get some sleep, if you're going to be only waking up in a couple of hours.
Then I don't think I'll take. I don't think I'll sleep. If I have like 4 more hours or 5, I'll try to upgrade. Yeah, I keep working on it.
Well, look, it's the decision is to you could like get all your spell slots back and whatnot,
I'm
and
not getting. But you said it's not a long rest. It's a short rest. I don't have an. Oh, because it gets cut in the middle. Because it's
yeah,
not
you
a
can
fully
if you
long
just
rest.
want to take a short rest, a normal short rest, you can do that. If you just want to get some normal hit points back.
No, short rest won't help me. I'm practically on full HP. Yeah, I'll take the long rest with the exhaustion.
Okay. So yeah, you'll. Hey man, this is this is the trouble with trying to work all night. Okay, so you take a level of exhaustion, but you will then be able to wake up with everyone else the following morning in 8 hours. So here we go. All right. You guys spend the night, and about 7:30 the next morning, your long rest is up. What would you guys like to do?
Z is gonna smoke some pot.
Yeah, wake and bake. All right, that sounds like Z.
She'll go outside to smoke some pot. But I feel like this is her preparation for the void ring. That's her excuse of why she's smoking pot so early in the morning.
Yeah, Z will get inspiration for that. It's,
I don't
that
really
honestly
need the
is
void
probably-
ring.
Let's look. Let's be honest. That's probably the best preparation you could do for getting your void ring is wake and bake. So yeah, Z's standing outside having a smoke, looking at the wreckage of that ship. Sorry, you keep breaking up. I'm not. I don't mean to speak over you. What were you saying?
If they're going to get the void ring now, can I just continue sleeping until they return?
Yes. That. That was like the first thing that I said.
Oh, so I probably need to go outside or something. I don't really get good reception in here.
Yeah, sorry, we keep missing each other there. But yeah, if you want to just stay behind and keep sleeping, while they try and go and get their rings, you can do that.
Yeah, as well as you.
Okay, well, in that case, for now, I want to say you're controlling June, but that feels like too much power.
But you fear he turns into a little girl and then basically accuse the guy of stuff we don't want to talk about, and then gets the ring that way.
Maybe
Well, for
bury
now,
some random other dude who's also trying to get his void ring there.
yeah, actually, that's a good idea. You can play another samurai if you like. As Estrella, are you going to lead them over there in the morning?
Well, Estrella will be finishing her. What is it called? The little funny thingy. Her jug of wine, and then being like, oh well, better get started, and then fuck that door. Why did I lock it? Fuck that door and just kick it like that, and then realize, oh, it's locked, and then open it, and then start walking out, and it's like, let's get to that fucking word ring. Maybe being a little bit affected by the drinks she had that night.
Yeah, I think Z would be a bit shocked at Estrella kind of kicking down doors. Estrella, are you okay?
Yeah, Z would also remember that you're standing in the place that Estrella was turned to stone. It was very clearly that was nearly the place that she was trapped forever and ever. Like, I think
Okay, yeah.
she would have a little bit of understanding about like spending the night in this place is probably not Estrella's favorite thing to do, but
No, of
Yeah, what
course I'm
was-
not okay. I was almost turned to stone this place. I died while I was turned to stone. Kid, well, she's dead, and who other else is freaking dead now, man? Let's just get the fucking ring.
I honestly how Z would react to that.
long drag on the pipe. I'm like, okay.
That sounds about right. She'll just keep on smoking the entire way there. Giving those good vibes.
Yeah, you guys make your way over to the monastery, which I just realized I made the wrong tokens on.
I remember that one.
But I literally just haven't touched this map since then, apparently. So let me. There's still a light drizzle the next morning, but you guys all managed to make your way over to the monastery relatively safe. You see those two people dueling outside again as you all make your way inside. There we go. Yeah. Can you guys see?
I can see the monk, and I can see Sakura, and I can see she.
There we go.
Wrong person.
And I can see fishes.
And this monk is also on his way to get his tattoo. You will be playing a random monk. You're welcome to customize him however you like, Jerry, but it'll just be for this scene.
Yeah, that and shit.
Yeah, I feel like you're also free to opt out if this. I know the Zen stuff might be a bit mind numbing for you, but at least you know what you're talking about. You'll get it easy. So yeah, you guys arrive. Have you got control over Z's token? Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if I'd actually done that, but the two of you have arrived. You see a couple of monks that are getting there, doing some morning training, and what would you like to do?
Z puts a pipe away and starts heading towards the big hand.
And Estrella is very stubborn, so she chooses the other road. Just like last time.
Okay, and Jerry, would you like to describe the monk that is approaching them as well?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. He's wearing. I wouldn't say exactly torn-up clothes, but they don't look especially new. Looks like it took him a while to get here. He's wearing a mask that looks like made out of stone. He's armed with. He has a katana by his side. As best we can see, there he has long hair with some beads, I think it's called, on it. That's about it.
Okay, give me a second. Of course, I gave you a bald monk token. Let me find one with hair.
That's fine.
No, I mean I've got something cool. Give you just give me a sec. But yeah, you guys can carry on so long while I'm just finding the token.
How zen Z can be. Whoa, nice.
I'm
It's
just
actually pretty
leaning
badass.
in. I'm just leaning in at the monk and asking him like, "So what is most important, the beginning or the end?"
Z answers everything.
The monk turns around with a smile on his face and he says, sounds like you two are more prepared this time. Welcome. And he will give a bow, and then he'll bow to each of you in turn as the three of you approach.
I think Z would bow back. Yeah, she'll bow back.
Yeah, as well.
Estrella will instead just go down in a lotus position and being like, "Shall we begin? Or maybe it's the end. Who knows?"
Indeed. And he will say, if you're all ready, and he will start to pace up and down, back and forth, and he will look first at you, Estrella, as you have said that, and he says, first question, what is the void?
It is everything and nothing at the same time.
He will walk over to, what is your monk's name, Jerry?
Vol'jin.
Sorry, Wu Jin.
Vol'jin as the dude from Warcraft, I'm pretty sure. The troll. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, you can't have the voodoo. You got the devil in ya.
Mm.
Okay, cool. So he will look at you, and he will say, an interesting take. And what about you? What do you think the void is?
I think it was there before us. It will be there when everything will get destroyed. It will always be here. It will always not be.
He will continue pacing and heading over to Z as he will look at you and say, and you, my dear, what is Buddha?
Buddha. Oh damn! I was hoping for the void one.
He smiles as she says that out loud. And he says, is it a different question?
Fair enough. Hmm. I mean, if it was the void, she was gonna do an interpretive dance.
You can give me
Yeah.
Actually, let's see. What is? Yeah, give me just a wisdom check with Z.
Okay.
I'm checking. I don't think she has any. You can make it a wisdom saving throw, actually.
Okay. Ah. No.
Yeah, she's having a bit of. He kind of threw her off with that one, but you also know that that's exactly what this monk likes to do: is lead you one way and then realize that you're walking down a completely different path. So at this point, you're not entirely sure.
She's gonna do a tree pose. I did some reading on Zen and the way that Zen questions are answered. So she's just gonna do a tree pose and say, "This is Buddha."
He will laugh, and then as he sort of gives a nod, he'll start walking back down the line, looking back at Estrella, and he will say, "You are an archer, correct?"
I may be, or I may be not. That is the question.
So that was not the question for the test. My question is, when the archer is aiming at its target, what is it fundamentally aiming at?
Well, if you shoot for the moon, you miss the pointer.
He'll continue down the line, and he will say, he'll hold up one finger and he'll say, "What does this mean?"
Yes, whatever you want it to mean. Whether it's the number, the direction, or just you pointing, showing your finger. It can mean something and it can mean nothing.
He will head back down the line.
Goodness. Jump onto stuff.
Are you there? Is he?
Yeah, sorry, my cat was just jumping onto everything, causing chaos. Yes, I'm here.
He will look at Z and say, "When you meet a master swordsman, show him your sword. When you meet a man who is not a poet, do not show him your poem. Why?"
She sort of acts like there's a sword in one hand and a pen in the other. Why she does that, I don't know. She's blazed. So yeah, she gives a very abstract answer.
He walks over back to Estrella and says, "The more you know, the less you understand. Why?"
Because knowing nothing is also knowing something.
Okay, that's 2 questions each, right?
That is, unless the void was a question, then it was 3.
Is
The stress, third one. Me
no,
and
is
G got only 2.
Yeah. That was the third one to Australia.
How is he doing so far?
Yeah, that's.
Just wait and see, I guess.
He will look at you and ask, "Why is wisdom like a fire?"
Me or Z?
To you. And to Z, he will ask, "Why is wisdom like a cool pool?"
Hmm.
Life and destruction. So can wisdom. Depends on how you use it.
Z will say, like a cruel fool, wisdom can be refreshing, but also shocking. Also, they both have an O in it.
He will.
I'm trying my best, Bazooka.
He will back us, but no. I mean, that's the best answer I've heard. Okay, final question for you all. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
Z just uses. So, you know how you would clap with two hands? She just does that with one hand. And sort of demonstrates the sound of one hand clapping, which is just like, I suppose, the sound of wind or something.
So she waves a hand in the air.
Yep, basically.
Okay. What about the other two?
Australia's just like, it's a good question, and then tries to basically slaps one of her hands into the ground and hears the sound, and is, I guess that's the sound.
I'll look over at the monk. Jin, have you got an answer for that?
You're on mute, by the way.
Please let him give his answer. Stop your satanic ritual. Don't be frustrated. Thank you.
I know. She kind of does the waving the hand in the air, and she'll then say, "It is the void." She's just making no sense.
As
She's trying.
you say that, he gives you a look as if to, like, the smile comes back to his face.
You hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, thank fuck. Yeah, Virgin will just stand straight and extend his hand. like forward.
All right. He will just sort of look over the three of you and he says, some of you are close, but it seems you still have much to learn. I will offer you one more question to see if you truly understand, but know that if you fail this, then you will have to go and do some more studying, I think. And he's going to turn around and look at the shrine behind him as he tries to think of one more question. Why is it as hard to see oneself as to look backwards without turning around? And that again is to all of you.
Oh no. I don't know how to answer
Yes.
these.
Can you repeat it really quick?
Why is it as hard to see oneself as to look backwards without turning around?
Does he have? There's no correct answer though, and she wouldn't like think about this. But I am thinking. Damn.
Maybe because you make a picture of yourself. That is hard to see in other ways.
He
Your
just,
past is what
sorry, carry on.
your past is what defines you. So trying to change and looking back at it is not as easy, not very easy thing.
And Z?
No pressure. Hey. um. You can never really know yourself. You need to rely on others to know you. So while you look forward, others look back. Because you have friends.
The monk sighs and he turns around and shakes his head to all of you and says, I'm afraid you do not yet have the understanding.
God damn it.
Go and learn and understand, and when you are ready, return to me and try again. And he will give you a bow to all of you.
Z bows back. I tried my best for her. Oh.
It was close, but you guys have just failed.
What was the answer to that one, by the way?
No, that would defeat the purpose. Just go out and learn the answer.
He's kind of thinking that it's just because you don't have eyes on the back of your head.
Because the future is what because not always the past defines you. Sometimes the future is what defines you.
No. Because, no, you're not getting it. He will just say, there is no past or future. There is only now. This is the only moment that you can experience. The past and the future are something that comes from this moment. Stand still, stay quiet, and you will hear that the world around you is being generated. And he will just hold up the finger again. By you.
So in other words, what you're saying is that I am everything and yet I am nothing. As I am the one that as my experience is what defines the world. And yet, it is not.
He will bow again and say, "Indeed. But then who are you?"
He just answers, I am me.
That
I am the.
that isn't the correct answer. That in your eyes you may be everything, yet in others you may be nothing. As for you, the world revolves around you, while others thinks it revolves around them. Yet either is neither correct nor wrong.
He will nod and say, "Perhaps you do have an understanding." And he'll sort of stand and think for a minute, because yeah, you are sort of proving your your understanding. Is there anything else the monk or Z wants to say?
I mean, in that response to who are you? It's just like, I am me and you are you, but we are all the same because we are all made up of the void and we are all. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm trying really hard for her, but I
Yeah.
mean, I overthink stuff. I'm just coming up. I'm just saying the first thing that comes to mind for her because I feel like that's what she'd do.
Yeah, but that
She's-
you're not. Don't get me wrong. You're not doing badly. You're very close. He is looking at you with like this intensity, like he understands that you're right there, but he's also got this like smile on his face, like he's almost laughing at her. Just it's this look of like, "Oh, I know you there, but it's so funny that you don't see it." And
so
it's kind of condescending in a way, but he just looks like he's really enjoying this.
so I am me, but I am also you, and you are also me.
So then, what is I?
A letter. Like first thing
You
that
have
comes to
spent.
mind.
He laughs again, and he says, "You spend too much time with your nose in the scrolls."
No, damn it. No, that's. I feel like that's
Yeah.
definitely what Sakura would say, but
Yeah, I mean, hey, 'cause Sakura and Z go to the same, I mean, schools in the same little neighborhood, so it makes sense that they have some similar misunderstandings. What about the monk? Is there anything that he's trying to say changes to you?
Let's see, who am I?
Yeah,
Well, if you ask me, I'm Jin. That's my name. That's what defines me. But in the eyes of others, I can be anything. At the end of the day, we started as the same thing, and we will end as the same thing. A part of the void.
can Z do a wisdom save to try and figure out what she's missing?
yeah, sure. Though he is at this point turning around again and looking at the shrine, sort of stroking at his chin as he seems quite deep in thought.
Uh,
He he lets out a sigh and says, "Well, you know, I have past people with less understanding, I suppose. And it is, after all, only the beginning of your journey. So," and he will turn around and say, I will grant you all your rings for your rudimentary understanding, but I would highly recommend that you all keep exploring these ideas. It will serve you well in the battles that I'm sure are to come. But I believe that you have enough understanding in order to continue your training. So here,
Okay.
congratulations, you have all earned your rings, and he will hand each of you one of these void rings, semi-reluctantly. But yeah, you guys answered more questions than most have to, and he has realized that you have enough understanding. So.
But yeah, doesn't June also need to get her void ring?
Yeah, I was hoping that he was going to have joined us by now, and that
I mean, that's Jerry raises a good point. Could be changeling magic, and the monk is secretly June as a monk.
Or
yeah,
this could, or this could be the end of our journey. Who knows? We may die tomorrow.
Z bows to him.
yeah. Actually, I mean, if you look at that, someone takes a screenshot of that scene right now. Could definitely be June in disguise. But yeah, you guys all earn your rings, and yeah, by this point it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. What would you like to do?
I'm just so relieved that I got the ring for Z. I feel like she did and said some very interesting things.
Yeah, I feel I can't punish you guys for not actually being Zen monks. So there's
Look, I did some reading on it, and apparently the answer to these is just to do something random. Like if you there's one about a bell, and you answer it by just doing ding dong, ding dong.
yeah,
Like,
but you're missing the point.
That's lewd.
Whoever said that you just do something random doesn't get it.
well, it's not random, but I mean nonsensical.
Yeah, but the thing is that Zen is about the sense in no sense. In the nonsense isn't just like that's a very Western idea that nonsense is something random, that is just something like silly and funny and whatever. But there is as much meaning behind that as there is behind any sort of prophetic thing that they could say. A little prank could have just as much meaning. It's how you interpret it, and that's what the test is. Because in Zen, the way that we're doing this, you can't really gamify it. Like you can't turn it into a test necessarily, because everything is a test. So there is no pass or fail. This entire system is flawed. But it's D&D, so I'm trying.
Doing well.
So it's like, yeah, you have done enough to pass this test, because the test itself is kind of flawed in its own way. So you guys have all got your rings, though. You yeah, where would you like to go after that? I think Australia, seeing as you're basically the main character in this scene here, what would you like to do?
Well, I guess we better go back and see if Jerry has turned to stone or something has happened to him. Who knows? Maybe some gay clowns has taken him.
That is the most random thing I've ever heard. Well, actually, no, probably not. But gay clowns. Gay clowns? Oh no, that would be bad. As he says.
Just hear the monk muttering to himself. I'm like, geez, what the hell is lurking out in these mountains these days?
giant raptor Jesus who went extinct for your sins.
That sounds more likely than gay clowns, to be honest.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, actually,
I hope so.
to be fair, as you guys are leaving the monastery and heading back to the forge, I assume you will see a couple of people walking past that they seem to be like part of some sort of a carnival. A couple of tabaxi that seem to be hiking down the mountain, and they seem to be carrying a couple of supplies that seem to be for some kind of a circus or like some sort of event like that. So not that far off. They seem to be heading down towards Toto, but you pass them as you make your way back to the forge.
Hopefully they are not up to something bad, so when we come back they are like, oh, we have to deal with those guys.
And when you get back to the forge, you can hear what sounds like it may be some sort of a dragon or something snoring inside.
Jerry.
Or just give it a refresh. I think that's actually the simplest solution I've come to realize.
Yep.
Sure, let's just try and see what happens there. Oh well, that's fine. At least the clowns didn't win for Jerry. And then we had to go to the Hegna adventure and be saving him from Hegna.
So, yes, you guys all arrive back at the forge. You see Spike probably there to greet you, but Jerry, you were asleep inside. You will have gotten the full long rest, and you won't take that exhaustion, as you are still, I guess, asleep at this point. But you'll probably hear Spike barking at them as they arrive.
Yeah, I'll just slowly start getting up, putting my equipment on.
As everyone is heading back, actually, Estrella, can you roll for me a perception check?
The map is currently not loaded, but I can do something else while it's loading to make it post. Let's just do that. Yes, that should be the right one. 15.
Yeah, with a 15, as you were making your way back and you start rounding the corner to the forge where you can see that the ship sort of crashed into the trees, and you look out over the mountain and the skies are beginning to clear now. And as you see the clouds parting, you see this strange sort of pinkish color filling the sky. It's like this, almost like the color of the sky is actually changing between pink and blue as there's a strange light pulsing through the clouds. And as they part, actually, Sakura, can you also give me one from Sakura from down at the bathhouse as you're also waking up the next morning?
Is that something of Sakura's family?
No, but with the 16, you'll be seeing this as well as the one of the moons that is they're often still visible during the day. You can now see is shattered into pieces. There is like a glowing pink light coming from it, and it looks like an egg that has been cracked, hanging in the sky, and there is just this ominous light sort of glowing off of it. It looks like it has been struck by a cannonball or something.
I completely forgot about that.
But other than that, you arrive back at the forge, and you are, you hear Jerry inside. So, what are you guys doing there at the forge?
I'm pretty much just looking around, trying to find Jerry, and it's like, come on, Jerry, we gotta get to Toto, we gotta prepare, we gotta get some stuff, we gotta get some diamond dust, in case we need it. Come on, Jerry. You can sleep another time.
Is no one else concerned that the moon is shattered? I feel like that's cause for some concern.
Come on, it's most likely just one of Sakura's family that got mad and then did something to the one of the moons.
I mean, her dad is a forest. Her mom's dead. Who else is there?
Chuck Norris.
Who the fuck is that?
It's one of those old arena champions that from one of the first Iranian games. Is Jerry waking up at this point, or are you still
Yeah,
gonna sleep? So what are you doing then as they get back and you hear Z and Australia having this conversation?
Start walking outside and ask them if they finally got the ring.
Z shows the ring. She looks very proud of herself. And then she remembers that fucking moon is shattered. And is like, Jerry, you have to see this. The moon is shattered.
I don't think I can repair it with this missile. So let's just keep going.
Yeah, you see this entire celestial object in shards, and the airship still lying there in front of you that could probably also use some repairs, but is still operational. How are you guys getting around? Are you going to walk back down the mountain, fly down, use the ship? How are you moving about?
We need the ship on it because if we won't use it, we won't get the rings in time. This is our fastest way of transportation.
Yeah, you don't have to justify it to me. I'm asking what you guys would like to do.
Yeah, I'm planning on taking the ship. I don't know what the others.
Yeah, they will take the ship as well.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, you guys can all get back on board, and where are you heading?
Think of Sakura first.
All right. So you all climb back on board the ship, and it'll sort of sputter to start as the kicks up some smoke and pushes some of those trees off of it as you guys take off and head back down the mountain, going down to pick up Sakura. Sakura, as you are standing there looking up at the moon, you see the ship come flying down next to the bathhouse.
She's gonna hope that Jerry doesn't crash it into the bathhouse.
Or the moon.
The moon's already broken. Can't do much worse to it.
You'd be surprised, huh?
I realize you guys don't know why.
maybe some old man just shattered it because some little kid was turning into a big monkey and he didn't want that, so he shattered the moon because that was what caused it.
I don't know. It looks a bit more sinister. I mean, look, there's a moon that's been shattered.
It's pink, so it's most likely just one of your family, and we can deal with that when that happens.
I didn't even realize that was the connection you're making, is that if it's pink, it's got to be part of Sakura's family.
Not necessary. There is another pink connection, but unless they went to the ruins of a damaged dream, I don't think they're gonna see that. And if they see that, they are pretty much they could be snapped out with a fort.
I mean, look, we killed my mom. My dad has his own issues. I mean, he has to run an entire forest. I mean, that's a job on his own. Oh shit. She wanted to swear, but and then Oji-san, and then she realized that she needs to tell Oji-san that she killed her mother.
Well, have you considered that your father also a family? Maybe they are doing some stuff. It could be those, or could be a third party, or could be someone from the Manajavari. Who knows? I don't know.
Can we make a stop on the way to wherever we're going next?
Well, we were going to Toto, so to prepare because I need some stuff, and yeah, so we could make a stop, I guess.
Could you drop me off at Oji-san's? I think he needs to know.
What do we need from Toto?
Let's see, we need a diamond, some diamond dust, maybe some...
June's diamond dust.
Well, then we need a diamond, and then potentially... I can't quite remember the name, but some special rare oils and some burn salve in case we ever need to summon this creature, since I personally don't feel like burning or getting burned by it.
What the fuck are you talking about? What creature?
Well, it was something I totally forgot about. Because I wasn't privy to the ritual. I just heard it mentioned, like, sometimes that you would summon a creature that would cast judgment upon that creature, and if it found it worthy, it would create a new body for this creature. Though possibly not the same as the original body.
You're not getting Brian the Brain a body now.
No, not him. Not him. I'm not gonna pick a piece of his brain. Who knows? Maybe we damage him if we take a piece of his brain and tries to do that. Also, didn't he want, like... Oh, what if we put Brian the Brain inside of the Titan? You think he would like that?
Sakura just sighs. Estrella, what are you... are you high?
I'm high on believing.
Yeah, I don't think she got enough sleep last night. You're speaking nonsense, Estrella.
Z will take another puff on her pipe and go, "Hey, look, we did just go and get our void rings, Sakura. It's one of those mornings. But we should probably get a move on if we're gonna do something. Didn't Lady Sumihime also say that she wanted an escort, that she wanted to us to take her to Taton or something.
Sakura sighs. Well, I mean, could you drop me off before you pick her up?
What's your problem with the princess? She's a pretty kind person.
Nothing.
Make a deception check.
Me?
No, Sakura.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it's pretty convincing. If you want to roll insight against that, Z doesn't really take too much notice. Yeah, Sakura seems like she might be hiding something, but you're not sure what.
Is that a brother or a sister or half sister, half brother or something other relative? Maybe Uncle Larry or someone else.
Shreya, what are you going on about? Who is Uncle Larry?
I don't know. I read about him in some children's picture book. He was some kind uncle who took care of the kids. Maybe he was named Uncle Sam or the Gingerberry Pickle Man, whatever. I don't know. It was a really weird book.
So we can drop Sakura off at Oji-san and then go pick up some supplies and Lady Sumihime in town if you want to hit the shops. Jerry, anything you need from town?
Just short on time for the opportunity to get all the things. Honestly, don't really care about the ceremony.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear a word of that.
We don't have a lot of time, so make it quick. We still have like 3 more rings to get.
We have all the time we need, Jerry. Eternity is a long time.
I'm just gripping the controls harder so I won't say anything or push astray off the ship as I'm flying to Oji-san.
All right, so as you fly over the little peasant village, you see farmers below scatter like cockroaches as they see another airship coming in just a few days after their farms were ruined. And they begin to panic. But you can give me another just straight intelligence check to try and land this thing.
I'm not landing it, I'm just hovering so she will jump over something. There is a rope.
Yeah, all right, you can do that. You can use there's the rope ladder as well. So yeah, you
I'll probably
hover
land
over that
it
and
when
see
we
the
get
farmers
to
below
Kyoto.
panic. Sorry, say again?
I'll land it when we reach Toto. It won't just hover around.
Oh yeah, Sakura will just gracefully float down.
All right, you arrive at your Oji-san's house. What are you doing?
She's gonna knock on the door.
Yeah, a few minutes later, he'll open the door. Well, not minutes, 2 seconds. Ah, Sakura. Good, I was starting to get worried. Are you okay? He's just looking you up and down, still sort of taken aback by your new form.
She just kind of hugs him. She doesn't really know how to start telling him this. And she doesn't want to, like, make him sad. So she's kind of just hugging him until she kind of feels... Okay. So she's kind of just hugging him until she figures out what to say. No, we don't want to bring back Mommy.
What?
Estrella says we should get a wish to bring back Sakura's mom. Nope. But yeah, she's kind of just hugging him at the moment. And after a while, she sort of asks. I mean, it's her. It is her house, but she still asks if she can come inside.
He can just sort of frown and say, "Of course. What's wrong?" And he'll sort of usher you inside, take you over to where he's just made a fresh pot of tea.
She'll sort of sit at the table and be like, "Fuji-san, I have something I need to tell you. It's about my mom."
Of course, you can tell me anything, my cherry blossom.
You know how she invaded the city the other day in a Titan?
Oh, that was her, was it?
She nods. It kind of didn't end well for her. She tried to kidnap me, and then my friends came, and she didn't really make it. I'm really sorry for your loss.
My God, Sakura, I'm just glad that you're safe. What do you mean, my loss? That I'd kill her myself if she'd done anything to you. And he just moves in and puts his arm around you, like clearly trying to be understanding that you've clearly experienced some trauma.
She's just gonna like lean into him, sort of relieved that he doesn't seem too distraught, but also just like really happy because that was really sweet. So she's a bit.
You can give me an insight check as well.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not distraught about it at all. He seems like he doesn't really react to the fact that she's dead. He seems to be more reacting to the fact that you had to kill her. Like that seems to be what he's more concerned about, and that you've just gone through all of this. He doesn't seem to be reacting to her at all.
She thinks that's a bit suspicious, but she really does appreciate his support. And I mean, she might actually take this opportunity to actually let all her emotions come out because she has been sort of just suppressing them for a while. So she'll just, you know, cry for a while into Oji-san and sort of just let all the emotions out that she's been keeping inside because it was never the right time to let them out. I mean, she has been through a lot, so there's a lot of emotions that just needs to cry out.
Yeah, and he will absolutely be there and just welcome you back home and let you have that safe space. As we cut back over to Toto as the rest of you head in there. What are you guys doing in Toto?
The first thing Estrella is like she walks down to the sake bar and is like, I promised, and then walks in and is like, I seem to have promised to pay for the drinks of those that survived. So, you know what? Here, I think this will cover at least. Well, there's been so many tragedies, so I think this will cover like everyone's tab, and just drops 3 cocoa on the basically, yeah, on the disc.
You will see that there are a couple of samurai that are just sort of arriving now after their morning training, and a couple of them are looking over your shoulder, but the guy behind the bar will give you a bow and say, "Oh, thank you. I will make sure that they get their drinks and everything. Thank you, very kind." And you realize that the tavern has also undergone some renovations since the last time you were there. They seem to have changed things around a little bit, and you can see that the architecture of this place is eerily familiar to that of Idekayo's place, which it's just you're having a lot of strange trips down memory lane this morning.
I'm like, where is he hiding? Is he here? Where is he? Idekayo. I know this place. It looks like his.
Oh, I don't know who you mean, miss. We've just had been doing repairs all morning. I'm sorry. We've reopened the fight clubs. You see, if you are interested in joining, you are more than welcome to. But I'm afraid I don't know anyone by the name of Idekayo, and she seems to be telling the truth. What are you looking into exactly?
What I was basically trying was to basically observe and see if there's any hint that he was lying and that Idekayo may actually still be alive. Because if that...
you with that nat 20, you immediately check their ankles to make sure no one's got little red ribbons coming off of them, and you are pretty sure that it is just a similar looking place. That most of the buildings around here can often look alike, but this one is just, they've got this similar pond out front, and it's unsettling, but this is definitely not the same place.
Well, beware of anyone that smells of sulfur. By the way, you wouldn't know if there's any jeweler or something of that like in Toto, would you?
I think the Smiths do a little bit. I think One Eye might, but I think the jewelers at the festival today, they're still going from last night. I'm not sure if you'll find him in town, but he usually works with One Eye. He would know.
Well, thank you. And then I will be paying One Eye a visit, and I'm basically like going in the direction where One Eye is, or at least presume where he is, unless he has moved somehow.
Yeah, no, it's not too far from the tavern. It's like a block away, so you can easily walk over there. What is Jerry doing as Astrea's walking over there? Is he...
Managed to land the ship properly.
Yeah, you can land it outside Toto.
Yeah, but do I roll anything for it or not? That's the question.
Depends. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to land it and hide it somewhere? Because then you can give me a stealth check. But otherwise, no. You're starting to
No,
sort
just
of get...
land it.
Yeah, there's more than enough open space around here to land it in the fields outside Toto.
So I don't need anything from Toto. Can I just try to repair the damage I did last night.
Yeah, you can start trying to repair the ship.
That's
can
what
also-
I do until they return from getting the
Yeah.
equipment they need.
Yeah, definitely. You can try and patch it up. Give me another check with Smith's tools as you start. You'll see that there are also some basic repair kits and things on board the ship that you can make use of. But just give me that check with Smith's tools. Oh yeah, with a 27, you managed to fix at least half of the damage that was done last night. It regains 30 hit points, so that's, and it had taken 50. So to put that in perspective.
Okay.
And yeah, you see that you think that you've managed to get that engine running smoothly again.
Right.
So Estrella, as you arrive at One Eye's shop, what are you doing?
I'm walking in and it's like, so One Eye, do you know where the jeweler is, or do you potentially have a diamond or diamond dust or let me see, what did she call it? It was something like standing there and trying to remember what the type of oil and stuff is, or maybe something that protects you from heat, some lotion or something.
Oh yeah, we've probably got some things. Got some diamond dust here. These are all components that we're using for the forge, though. What are you? And then he looks up and recognizes you and goes, "Oh yes, of course, please come in." And he'll start rummaging around behind the desk. How much diamond dust are you actually looking for?
I'm not entirely sure. I would say about. Let me just calculate. Maybe 300 gold worth of it.
Oh, yeah, we can do that pretty easily. Have you got the koku? So, 30 koku, that would be.
Sure, I have that koku, of course.
And you, which school are you a part of again?
And the
Oh,
archer
wait, you're the
school.
one that... And then he suddenly remembers and goes, "You're the one that was turned to stone, retaking that place in the mountains, weren't you?"
Yes, I was the one that was turned to stone while one of my friends, he died. Yes, that was me.
Oh, and I'm very sorry, but I can give you a discount here. We'll say half price, 15 koku for. He will start. You'll see scooping something from a drawer behind the desk into a pouch for you. It seems like he's got a whole tray full of diamond dust there behind the counter.
Yes, that's fine. That's really good. Now I just need to find something to protect me against the heat and something that god damn it! What was that oil? So long time since I heard that mentioned.
Well, blade oil's there on the wall, and he'll point to a shelf that has got a whole bunch of different oils and potions and things on it. You will see there is oil of sharpness, oil of slipperiness, oil of etherealness. What are you looking for?
All it says is rare oil. and then some. What I basically has translated into, it's pretty much burn cell.
Is this just a spell component?
It is a spell component to, yeah.
Oh, you just need plain oil. Well, yes. I mean, you can help yourself. How much do you need?
Cool, I'm back.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's rare oils and well, pretty much.
Oh, okay, I see. So, I understand. Oh, that is quite a lot that you would need, but these, I mean, these can get pretty expensive. The oil of sharpness is very rare. Let me double check. How much? Can you remember how much default items are usually worth?
Holy shit! No, no.
Have you even got 1,000 gold?
Let me just Let me just check. I exactly has 1,000 gold and 15. That is pretty much what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, I'll say you can buy, because he's got things here to make those kinds of oils, like the oil of sharpness and stuff, blade oils. So you would be able to get 1,000 golds worth of it just as material components if you want to spend all your focus or all your. I don't know where all your money's coming from. I have lost track of that.
Sometimes I also lose tracks, man. Like, but yeah.
Also, I haven't given you guys the wages that you've been earning this whole time as well.
For 2 days, pretty much. I've basically been keeping track of it.
Yeah, I mean, Sakura's is going back to her OG-san, she said, and so yeah, is that everything you've amassed up till this point? Because then
It's
everyone would have 1,000.
It's everything I have amassed up to this point, but except for 2 days. After we got our promotions, I haven't been keeping track because I didn't know the cocoa rate for the promotion.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll figure that out another time. But we'll say that you can definitely buy 1,000 gold's worth of oils and things. Just consider that you've got the spell components for that. And I will represent that by giving you 3 oils in case you wanted to use them for something else.
It's funny. I just checked my what I had on D&D Beyond. Now I have exactly 3 oils, with one being having a little customization, so I keep track on that stuff.
Okay, cool. If you've got them there, then that's cool. But yeah, anything else you want to do in Toto?
Nope. I'm pretty sure I'm done here, so we can get on the road.
Okay, you head back out of the city and back to the Orca ship where Jerry is just finishing up his repairs. And as you are standing at the entrance, you will see Lady Sumihime come walking down the road, just not too far behind you, Estrella, as you're leaving the smithy. And she seems to be alone, but in quite formal robes, as she just seems to be walking by herself down the street.
When you say formal, does it have any color?
Yes, it is blue.
It is now green.
Just look down and what the look. I don't think Taton's gonna like that very much. And she just, as she approaches you, but looks down at it and goes, "Although I can't say I'm complaining."
No, Estrella, make it pink.
It is now black and pink.
Oh, that's edgy. Are you getting into fashion now, Australia? I could have you beheaded for that kind of behavior.
And I'm jesting. Was taken away in a crime of passion.
Ah, yes, I always forget that you're a bard. You all ready to go? I wasn't sure where to meet you. And Kinji's getting a little bit antsy. He says you guys are going for some kind of a record. Thinks you're actually going to beat him.
Well, beating him is not the problem. Since, well, remember, there could be people before that has beaten the record in less time than us, but just didn't bother recording because they seemed like, that's boring. It was just like, this was not really anything, but who knows? Could happen.
I suppose it's possible, but Kinji does hold the record and he is very proud of it. Daichi won't shut up about it half the time. Seems like it might be the only one of his sons he's actually proud of. Jerry, you ready to get this hunk of junk moving?
Just start it off.
And where's the new girl? And she looks around for Sakura. At this point, also, you are parked not that far away from like the Oji-san's house. You can sort of see the entrance to the castle from there, so you would see where the ship is parked in the distance if you were to head outside. But you guys aren't that far away from each other at this point.
Yeah, Sakura is just. She's having a good breakdown, telling Jason about everything that's happened, and the what the Emperor said to her. All the stuff, everything, and about Seto, and she's just letting everything out now. Finally.
Yeah, you've been doing this for about 2 hours at this point. By the time that Estrella and Lady Sumihime are approaching the ship.
Okay. She'd sort of eventually calm down with some tea. So she's really relieved that he's not angry at her.
Sakura, why would I be angry with you?
I killed your daughter.
He just looks confused and says, "What? No, you were right here." And he just smiles as he's looking back at
Sweet.
you. You know that you know that Anaki wasn't. You know she wasn't my daughter, right?
What?
And
she kind of just like looks at him like wide-eyed. Really?
I'm sorry if you've misunderstood all these years. I mean, I've let you call me grandfather mostly because I just, I always wanted to be an Oji-san, but I'm not actually related to your parents. I just took you in when she left. She, as far as I understand it, her parents are, well, I'm not even sure she has two. It's kind of a complicated story. From what I know, she was born to some kind of an elf that, I mean, some say that she was some sort of a kami, but that's part of the reason why she expected you to be elven. It wasn't just because of your father. She thought that her own blood had some sort of power because of where she came from, and I assure you that wasn't from me.
She's a bit in shock.
He looks sort of offended for a second. He's like, and you know, as the person who raised you, I must say, you really think that I created that woman?
Yeah, no, she she does look at him and says, you know, I was wondering how she ended up like that if you raised her. But that makes a lot of sense. And I love you all the same, even if we're not related. I mean, I'm proud to be your granddaughter. She hugs him.
And I will always be proud of you, Sakura. But if you are interested in finding out more of your mother's heritage, and he sighs and says, perhaps there is something I can give to you. And he'll go over and he'll lift up one of the floorboards in this place near where you guys are used to sitting and having tea, and he will pull out a small lockbox. He'll open it up, and he will pull out a, a small scroll, I mean, it's basically just the size of your hand, that it has a symbol on it that says, you would recognize in Kigani, that it has the seal of Master Kai.
What?
And he says, this was left by her a long time ago. She said that she had left it to you, but I didn't have the heart to give it to you. I didn't want her involved in your life at all. But perhaps you are ready. You have progressed so much after all. And he'll hand you the scroll.
She takes it. Oh, the connections that I. Oh my goodness. And she'll sort of like look at him sort of nervously as she sort of starts to open it.
He will also just say, as you're doing that, he's watching you closely, and he says, understand, Sakura, that this, and he says, I won't stop you, but just please never forget where you really came from. If you do decide to go looking into your birth parents, I'm not going to stand in your way, but just be careful, okay? Your parents came from dangerous places, both of them, and I don't want you wandering into places of the forest you can't come back from.
She nods at him and reassures him that she'll never forget who her real parent was. I mean, like, it was kind of a Jisun. He raised her, so even though he's like a grandparent, he kind of is her parent. So, and she'll say that she'll try to stay safe. She'll sort of sit with him, and she opens the scroll because she doesn't really want to open it alone. Phoenix,
Yeah.
calm down.
You can give me an Arcana check as you open the scroll.
Okie dokie. Ah,
You instantly recognize these as coordinates to a teleportation circle. That is all that is written on this scroll.
that's interesting. That's very interesting. She'll look at her Jisun and say, do you have any idea where this might go?
I'm afraid not. I never really wanted to find out either. but perhaps your new friends could help you. They seem like they've gotten you through worse.
She smiles at him and nods. I promise I'll be careful. We're going to get the rest of our rings, but I'll be sure to send you a paper bird every day to let you know I'm okay.
Thank you. I will look forward to them. Good luck, my dear. Please, here we go. Take some food with you, and he'll pack you a little bento box and just wrap it up with a couple of dumplings and some mochi and things that he knows you like, and just send you on your way, making sure that you're all ready to go.
And she'll give him a hug goodbye, like you know how kids on their first day of school, or sort of like don't wanna go, sort of like that, and she'll also tell him to be safe, and that she loves him, and she'll see him soon, and she'll head off to the ship.
Yeah, and as you head off, the rest of you will see Sakura now approaching through these sort of roads and farmlands just outside, as your Oji-san looks out over your shoulder and then sees you heading towards the airship, and immediately his facial expression just changes behind you, like, oh shit. Like, she's not getting on that, is she? It's like watching your daughter getting picked up by, like,
a motorcycle.
going on a date, and then the guy pulls up on a motorbike. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Is it at least a Yamaha, or a Suzuki? If not, then I can understand his disappointment.
I mean, I feel like Sakura's Flying Castle, that is definitely a Harley Davidson. Definitely.
Nothing
Gotta
beats a Suzuki, man. The Suzuki Samurai, the best one.
I don't know anything about bikes, but that I know exactly the bike you're talking about. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can really compare these ships to bikes, but what you are getting in now is definitely not nothing fancy. This is
Maybe a
the airship
Kawasaki.
equivalent of a scooter that you've painted flames on the side.
As long as it's not a Suzuki, what's it called, FZ15, because that's shit.
That's actually, you should ask Suzuki. He can probably fix the ship for you if you still need more work on it. Shall we go? And Lady Sumihime is going to climb on board the ship as well as Z.
I'm just leaning into, like, what's called, to Sakura, and is like handing her a little black book, and it's like, you sure you not want him to write his name here? It would make contacting him a bit easier.
Whose name?
Your grandfather, in case you ever need to contact him really quick.
So she wants Sakura to put Jisun's name in the book.
No, he needs to put his name in the book, else it won't work.
Didn't you actually ask him to do that before you went to go and revive Sakura?
No, the only one I ever asked was, what was that dude's name?
Oh no, you were doing a sending spell in there. That was what I was remembering.
Sakura pulls up the box of paper birds, and shows them to Estrella. Don't worry, I can contact him.
Z will sort of chuckle and say, I mean, I would take Estrella up on the offer depending on how far away we've gone. You know, those poor paper birds, I've seen people try and send them across the whole of Kiga, and let's just say they don't agree with the rain. And she kind of chuckles, as it's probably something that most of you have done as children, like try and shoot paper birds out of the sky and intercept the messages. It's like a pretty common thing in Kiga to see a little origami bird fly over your head.
I suppose she'll accept Australia's offer.
Yeah, I mean, she's just saying if you guys go out of the country, sending spell is probably more efficient than a paper bird, but that is why your Oji-san gave them to you, to maintain that line of communication.
Mm.
There is another spell that I saw the other day. I'm not sure if any of you have got access to it or heard of it, but that is like an instant messenger type of. It's like you can send messages through sort of interdimensional portals. Do you know the spell I'm talking about?
Have a message.
It's a high level thing, but I think it's like temporal messenger or something. But I just thought that might be a cool one to look into. But anyway, you guys get on board the ship. What is everyone doing once you're on board? Where are you heading?
Going to Taton.
Yeah.
Sumihime will be like, oh, I mean, you can stop and get your rings first. It sounded like you guys had quite some plans last we spoke.
Oh, yes. I thought that. Okay, here's the map.
Well, the earring
so-
then. If I remember correctly.
I think one of them is on the way. Yeah, let's.
The earring was
Let's get our
just
rings.
before Taton, and then after Taton, I think in Kasabetsu was the water ring, and then down in Amama was the fire ring. That's at least how I remember it. Or
You've
maybe
already
it was
gotten
in Natoro.
Wait, who hasn't gotten the fire ring besides June?
June and me.
Okay.
And all the 100 children of Gog. Or maybe they do.
So
yeah.
yeah, I think let's go for our air ring before. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jerry, you are at the helm. Where are you flying the ship over to?
Unless I missed something and we don't want to go there.
Wait a second, are you gonna send us to Detroit? No, not Detroit!
So the earrings.
I think the air ring is at Kunasa.
I mean, you guys have the map that you're looking at now. Those are kind of stamps that I think who gave them to Kinji.
Oh yeah, but that's pretty messed up at the moment. They are like floating
Yes.
outside of the map. I was just like, remembering like the map from memory. That's why I was like.
Yeah, I'm pretty
think that-
sure the wind one is the next.
Yeah, the wind one is definitely
It's right
closest
before
to you. Just
Kunasa.
give it a refresh.
It's the wind one, the water one, the fire one, and that's it.
Yeah, and then you were going to circle back round to the void, but you've done that this morning instead. And then there's also, I mean, if you guys wanted to try and go after the floating castle again, you've got that option. You've got the gate that Sakura figured out. There's a lot of directions you could go from here, so it's up to you.
We could also go to Smoth.
I vote we do rings, then
Yeah,
floating.
and then let's start with the ring.
I agree, because we can't have Kenshi beat us. Let's just beat his record and then be like, look, it's not that hard, Kenshi.
Sounds good. So I think we should do that order. She's not going to tell the party about the coordinates just yet. She does want to check that out sometime, but I mean, she kind of plans to put those into the navigation system on the castle. So she's going to say priorities, rings first, then castle. And after we've done that, it'll probably be time for the Genpuku. We'll see where we go after that.
Okay, cool. And I think there we are going to take a quick break, as I just need to get this map set up. I wasn't sure which way you were going to go, but yeah, so 10-minute break, and then we'll be back for the last bit.
Cool.
Unless you guys just want to actually end it here, because there's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
I don't want
we
to
can
carry
make
on too
this
much
one
without June.
shorter.
And
Yeah, we can say this one is just a shorter one.
Yeah, I think that would actually work better, because I thought he was going to still possibly join us tonight, but I don't think he's going to make it. So I think we will end it there tonight as you guys descend down towards the monastery, where you will be able to do your test for the air ring. What you see is a tower in front of you. There is a very similar monastery to the other ones that you've seen, but where the shrine on the hand is, on that one, there is a tall sort of a circular tower that rises up into the sky, and you can see that standing at the front there is a small owl folk waiting.
Wait a second. Are we going into Mordor? And that owl is actually Sauron.
Yeah, not that tall. I may have overstated it. It doesn't look like Sauron's tower, but smaller, more like the Monkey King's pagoda that you fought in.
At least it's not a fairy, because fairy getting, from what I hear, heavily nerfed from the UA. It's like, really, if you don't have the UA, you're pretty much like, there's no reason to play a fairy.
Yeah, but monster stat block's always different, so I can pump up the creatures if they have been underpowered. But also this looks like it may be a child or a small animal. It doesn't look like it's going to fight you.
Wait a second, are we gonna pick it up and then start the kindergarten? Since in German, Kiga actually means it's a nickname for kindergarten. I learned that like the first day when one came in and was like, in case you wonder what the meaning of Kiga is, it's kindergarten in German.
That makes sense. I can see how they foreshortened that one, but it's just a weird nickname. So it does feel kind of accurate at this point. I've seen a bunch of children, and most of the encounters, you guys are like all teenagers and stuff. It's school world. But anyway, thank you guys for the session. That was, yeah, a productive one. Got one of your rings.